using multiplication and division. So let's take a look at the first example. Now don't forget to graph the solution. A, x divided by 8 is greater than negative 8. Today we're going to solve inequalities using multiplication and division. After we solve for it, we are going to make sure to graph the solution. So let's take a look at the first example. X divided by 8 is greater than negative 5. So the first step is to write the inequality. Then what we're going to do is multiply both sides of the inequality by positive 8. Notice I'm saying a positive 8. The 8's will cancel out, and we are left with x is greater than negative 40, which is in its simplest form. Then we are going to graph the inequality. So at negative 40, it is going to be an open circle. And all real numbers that are greater than negative 40, so your array will go to the right of the number line. Make sure to include a couple of numbers on your number line so that we know where you are on the number line itself. Let's take a look at B. Negative 24 is greater than or equal to 3x. In this case, we are going to divide both sides by 3 by using the division property of inequality. We are going to get negative 8 is greater than or equal to x. Then we will simplify that. The solution is x is less than or equal to negative 8. Therefore, when we graph this, at negative 8, it will be a closed point, and all real numbers that are less than or equal to negative 8 will have an array that goes to the left. And don't forget to graph the solution. In this case, we have 2 is less than y divided by negative 3. So you know you're going to multiply both sides of the inequality by negative 3. Now, we're going to use the multiplication property of inequality by multiplying both sides of the inequality by negative 3. But a really important thing that we need to do is reverse the inequality symbol. So we get negative 6 is greater than y. So our solution is y is less than negative 6. When we graph this, we're going to have an open point where all real numbers are less than negative 6. The reason why we reverse the inequality symbol is so that we can make the statement true. Watch the next take to figure out why we are reversing the symbol. To solve this inequality, we're going to undo division by multiplying both sides by negative 3. And so we get negative 6 is, we got to reverse the inequality sign, and we'll talk about why we do that, which is negative 6 is greater than y. So our solution is y is less than negative 6. Let's check to see if the statement is true. So I'm going to do my check. So y is less than negative 6. So I am going to pick a number that is less than negative 6. I'm going to go ahead and pick y is equal to negative 9 because we know that that's less than negative 6. And we are going to plug it back into the original. So I'm going to go ahead and check the solution. Now, if the statement comes out to be true, then we did it correctly. So I have 2 is less than negative 9 divided by negative 3. So that means 2 is less than 3. So that's a true statement. So we're good. And so let's go ahead and prove why we reverse the symbol. Now, this here was a problem where I reverse the symbol. Let's take a look at if I had not reversed the symbol. So I'm going to do a check, and I'm going to actually say, you know what, y is greater than -6. Let's say I didn't reverse the original inequality sign. When I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pick a number that's greater than -6 and plug it into the original inequality. So I'm going to say y is equal to 0 when 2 is less than y divided by -3. So remember, I didn't reverse the inequality, and I'm going to get that answer. Let's check to see if our statement is true. So when I plug in 0, I'm going to get 2 is less than 0 divided by -3. So that tells me that 2 is less than 0. Now this statement is definitely false because we know that 2 is greater than 0. So therefore, we have to remember to reverse the inequality symbol in order to make our statement true. So make sure you make a note of this. We reverse the inequality when multiplying or dividing a negative number in order to make the statement true. Example B. Let's go ahead and write the inequality. -7y is less than or equal to -35. So the coefficient is -7 and is being multiplied by y. So to undo that, we are going to use the division property of inequality and divide both sides by the -7. Remember, because we are dividing it by a negative, we have to reverse the inequality sign in order to make the statement true. So we reversed it so that it's greater than or equal to, and our answer is going to be y is greater than or equal to 5. So the solution is y is greater than or equal to 5, and when we graph this, it's going to be a closed point where the array is going to the right because we are stating that all real numbers that are greater than or equal to 5 is considered a solution. Problem. Remember, it's a real life problem, so we want to make sure we think logically in the end when we look at the answers. So procedures, understand what's going in the problem, make a plan, solve, and check. And always make sure you write your final answers in a complete sentence. And don't forget your units. So let's take a look at the first problem. It says Angela has $25 gift certificate to a movie rental website where a movie costs $4.50, and that includes the tax. What are the possible numbers of movies that Angela can rent and pay for with the gift certificate? All right, so she's maxed at $25. So we know that she has a $25 gift certificate, and we know that each movie is $4.50. We know that she is capped at $25. So we know that the inequality has to be less than or equal to 25. So when we set up our inequality, we're going to say let m equals number of movies. And our inequality is $4.50. M is less than or equal to 25 because we are maxed at 25. So to solve for this, we're going to divide both sides by 4.5. So that means we have m is less than or equal to about 5.5 movies. So that means, let's think of this logically. Okay, so we know that the movie the number amount of movies have to be less than or equal to 5.5 movies. So remember, because it's a real life problem, you can't have half of a movie rental online. They charge you for the full movie. So you only buy one movie for that whole movie. No half price or whatnot. So the possible solution, and I'm going to graph this because we know that it has to be less than or equal to 5.5, but in this case, we want to make sure that we include discrete points, and which is really important for this because it's a real life problem. So yes, it has to be less than or equal to 5.5. However, because we're talking about real life problem, all the possible solutions, we know it can't be 6 and it can't be 5.5. We know that Angela can rent 5 movies. She can also rent 4, 3, 2, 1, and she doesn't have to rent anything. So our answer is Angela can rent 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 movies with the given $25 gift certificate. So although our answer is M is less than or equal to 5.5, because there's context to the problem, we want to make sure it makes sense. Let's take a look at number 2. A pitcher holds 128 ounces of juice. What are possible numbers of 10-ounce servings that one pitcher can fill? So we know a pitcher can hold 128 ounces. What are the possible numbers of 10-ounce servings that one pitcher can fill? So we know that it's saying that 10 ounce is equal to 1 serving. So that'd be less than or equal to 128. So when we're solving for this, we can say let x equals number of servings so we get 10x is less than or equal to 128. And when we solve for this, we're going to divide both sides by 10, and I get x is less than or equal to 12.8. So in this problem, realistically, it's saying amount of servings. So for this, we are looking for possible numbers, so no fractional amount because we're talking about actual one whole servings. So when we solve for this, we want to make sure we take that into account. So if I was to graph this on number line, we're looking at servings. So she can have, or a pitcher can hold 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now it can't be 13 because we have 12.8, and 0.8 is not enough for one whole serving. So this, if you wanted to graph it, looks something like this. There are solid points on the whole number. Like so. So our solution is the possible numbers of 10-ounce servings to fill a pitcher.